We all grow well on the Blacakall Range. Rain, sun, rich volcanic soil. Yum.
It's a pity that those flowers aren't native and they're weeds and they've got wind-blown seeds. That's how they get there.
Morning glory may have beautiful blue flowers, but it's a terrible weed. It smothers everything, its roots crisscross the hill. It came in here when the council widened the road down the hill and the disturbed soil brought in the seeds. And now it's covered our whole hillside. It's very, very difficult to get rid of, but it's a terrible weed.
Don't call me a weed. I'm one of a takeover breed. So while you are sleeping, I'm outside creeping. Crisscrossing the ground or climbing up high, I head for the sky. I twist and I twirl, I cling and I curl, with a leaf like a heart and a blue flower's art. I'm called Morning Glory, a big success story. Just because I come from a different place, just because I'm growing in a public space, there's simply no need to call me a weed.
Well, moth vine is quite a serious weed. It's an interesting plant. It has a green upper leaf. The underside of the leaf often has a paler green or whitish kind of appearance, and there's a sappiness in the stem, so that if you break the stem, you'll see a little bit of a white exudate coming out. This sort of latex sap tends to be a bit irritating to the skin, so when you're handling this vine, it's good to wear gloves. There's a pod. It's a bit like a choco, and it's beginning to split. Geez, there's just hundreds of seeds in here, and they have these little silky filaments that help them blow in the wind. So that's the concern about them spreading out all around the countryside.
Don't call me a weed. I'm one of an elegant breed. I come from Peru. I'm as well bred as you. I can twirl, dance and twist, or grow thick as your wrist. With my fruit like green chocos, there'll be no time for smokos. Inside my fruit is the most precious loot. My strands of white silk, as pure as goat's milk. Each bears a black seed, which I hide. Just because I come from a different place, just because I'm hiding in an inaccessible space, there's absolutely no need to call me a weed.
The beautiful white flowers of the small leaf privet can be a problem. The perfume has been known to cause asthma and other bronchial problems in susceptible people. So during spring, when they're out, some people have to avoid them.
Don't call me a weed. I'm one of a tough-rooted breed. With my delicate fronds I drape over ponds. My pretty white flowers form sweet, scented bowers. My cascades of white, like snowflakes or hail, are delicate as a bridal veil. Just because I come from a different place, just because I grow in a sunny open space, just because I smell as sickly as hell, there is clearly no need to call me a weed.
Broadleaf privet is one of the real nasties on the Blacakall Range. It was brought out from England originally by the early settlers who wanted to make windbreaks, as they had used it for in England, the old privet hedge, and lots of them were planted. And now they've reached maturity. Each tree produces 30,000 seeds every season, so you can imagine the multiplication of broadleaf privet plants on the Blacakall Range. You really have to keep on to them.
Don't call me a weed. I'm one of a prolific breed. I came here from Asia. Cream flowers for your pleasure. My purple fruit clusters defeat all weed busters. My flowers make you wheeze and sniffle and sneeze, and I look like all trees. Too late you'll discover that I've taken over. Look outside and you'll see that the tallest tall tree is probably me. Just because I come from a different place, just because I'm covering all of your space, I'm a very successful takeover breed. So you can see it's quite pointless to call me a weed.
This is the cat's claw creeper. It's a very delicate kind of vine. Looks beautiful. From South America, but can drag down your rainforest. In springtime, it's got yellow tubular flowers, and it's easily identifiable by the claws that it has to hold onto the tree. It's like that.
Don't call me a weed, call me a panther. A line of lizards sewn together, or eagle's claws without a feather. While forest sleeps, catty creeps. On forest fronts, catty hunts, tendrils like claws smothering jaws, thorns that dig in and haul up for a spin. Yellow bells, speed tells, every shoot another route. So much fun in the sun, climbing free to kill a tree. Just because I come from a different place, just because I'm climbing at a terrifying pace, there's no need for speed to call me a weed. Meow.
There are so many Madeira vine roots here from the knobbles that have fallen off the vines that were here months and months and months ago, which I thought I'd removed, but you can see that there's quite a population of little ones all waiting to crawl up the nearest available piece of vegetation. I mean, some of them would have ended up twirled around that piece of bracken, and they'll go up the trees and they run across the ground, and they're just looking for things to hold them up in the air.
Don't call me a weed. I'm from an unstoppable breed. I'm from South America, a green tango dancer. Up a tree see me climb, round and round see me twine. One leaf off my spine can make its own vine. Little lump of my fruit becomes monster root. Just because I come from a different place, just because I grow at a rapido pace. If you know you can't succeed, why persist in saying a weed?
Wretched velcro vine. Ah, there's more of the stuff. Usually called silverleaf desmodium, probably introduced, but it's an absolute pain the way it climbs trees and rambles over banks, and it's sticky, really sticky. Catches on everything. And I've just got to get it while it's flowering, because it's just beginning to set seed. So I have to get some tools and get it out.
Don't call me a weed. I'm a Central American breed. A pretty white pattern on leaves of green satin. I cause sticky strife to the smallest wildlife. With my Velcro-like skin, I drag insects in. That poor butterfly will get stuck and then die. This unfortunate bat was no match for my trap. In lavender blossoms, I snatch frogs and possums. Just because I come from a different place, just because I thrive in an insectivorous space, I can see no pressing need for calling me a weed.
Please
sturdiest seeds. Throughout generations of self-propagations, we're more than a few, and we're gonna beat you.
We native trees need your assistance to help us in our weed resistance, to maintain a healthy direction. We need your protection. Won't you help the native flora? Too important to ignore. Revegetate the land before invading weeds can win this war.
The rich soil and high rainfall of the Blacakall Range means that it grew beautiful trees in the rainforest, and it grows beautiful gardens which people tend lovingly, but it also grows weeds which, when they get away from the owners, are very hard to control. You've got to be ever vigilant with your weeds.
If we are not vigilant, responsive and resilient, the weeds will multiply tenfold, kill forests with their stranglehold. Won't you help the native flora? Too important to ignore. Revegetate the land before invading weeds can win this war. If you come to lend a hand to fight this blight upon the land, then for the planet's treasure gain,